The people of the academia may be clever, but those clever people simply can't stop themselves from doing stupid things. Thank you, most eminent Lord Sangama Bey, for improving my mood for the whole morning once more. Ah, and this bottle of wine from Sumeru. Its exquisite flavor is well worth the price.
As long as you like it. Next month, I'll be sure to have my subordinates deliver more. Please don't like it, please don't like it! This bottle is so wallet-smashingly expensive. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't absolutely have to pave the way for our future collaborations.
One jug of wine's enough for today. Just put this round on my tab and we'll settle it at the end of the month. Oh, and don't include Yehoda's secret snack order. She's footing that bill herself. I know Dory's spent a lot of money trying to get a deal from me. I shan't say no to free drinks, but perhaps it'd be best to leave her some room to wiggle.
No problem. I'll send the bill over in a few days. Am I going crazy? Why is Nefer being so straightforward this time? Don't dwell on it, Dory. Just focus on getting the deal first.
Why so hasty? Please, after all the trust I've placed in you, surely it's unbecoming to fleece a fellow countrywoman over a simple drink? Dory, oh Dory, the deal is yours, but the money? Oh, we're going to split it.
Oh, come now. Even sisters need to settle accounts clearly. Let's put the mora on the table first, so we don't run into trouble down the line. I don't like that look she's giving me. She wants a cut of the deal, doesn't she? That's going to be a pain. How much should I let her have?
Just some hometown gossip. You're welcome to join us if you'd like. However, nothing we've discussed prior has been particularly interesting. Mostly more of the same. But really, I must know, Miss Dory, why did you want to get involved in that fiasco at the academia? It's a simple feat to lift a sleeping serpent from its nest, but what happens when it wakes up? Had you no fear of getting bitten?
She just won't stop. Why is she bringing this up again? I already answered this question. Wait, now that the Traveler's here, could she be using this information to exchange for some favors down the line? Oh, well, the Traveler's the one listening in. What harm could that do? May as well help our personal relationship along, even if it costs me a secret or two. Why, business, of course. Sometimes you just need to learn how to wrangle snakes. That fiasco gave me one of the biggest orders of my entire career.
Oh, fascinating. So, did you profit from it all? I heard that after Azar fell, a certain group of cowards fled Sumeru. That must have played havoc on your trade routes, with no small amount of goods lost in the process.
Right, and a sizable sum of mora, too. But that's just life as a merchant. You win some, you lose some. Even big losses are small problems. With money, more helping hands can be found and more goods purchased. But I had to retain the ability to do business in Sumeru.
Much like Genius Invocation TCG, then? It doesn't matter if you win or lose or how many cards you have in your hand. Retaining the right to sit at the table and play is a victory in its own right.
That's right. As long as I can still do business, I can recoup my losses eventually. But I'll never leave the card table I sit at. Sumeru, that is. If I did, I'd really be left with nothing.
My. I didn't know you loved your homeland so much.
Well, I love mora, and I'm the best at earning mora in Sumeru.
Your senses are certainly sharp when it comes to business, Miss Dory. Even now you prove yourself worthy of the title you claim. And those cowards who fled will never be able to play at your table ever again.
Since we said bye to the others in Nasha Town. Still no news about Rarer, though. Where could he have slunk off to? If only he was gone for good. But with all the trouble he stirred up before, there's no way we've seen the last of him.
Hello! You must be the traveler in Paimon? Mr. Flynn's has been looking for you. Unfortunately, there's been a serious wild hunt attack over at the quarry. He thinks it's time to regroup and figure out a plan.
The wild hunt? Oh, uh-oh. We better get over there, right away! Come on, let's go!
I can barely sense any Kuvaki at all. This whole area feels like a soulless husk.
Looks like his appetite truly is insatiable. As if the power of that energy cannon wasn't enough.
He's not seriously still getting stronger? What's his endgame here? Ah, everyone's here already. Hey, we made it! So, what's going on?
We've all been on high alert since we split up a few days back, expecting Rarir to strike again. But it's like he just vanished into thin air. No one has seen him nor found any trace of his presence. That is, until this morning, when a ratnik found signs of wild hunt activity while out here on patrol. As you can see, the Crystonite itself is physically intact, but the Kuvaki it contained is all but completely diminished.
And we're sure that Rarir did this.
Who else? He's the only one who could pull off a stunt like this.
Kuvaki loss has reached critical levels. Reikir of Solnari set to maximum threat level. Warning, unless de-escalation measures are taken soon, he will pose a threat beyond our ability to contain. The consequences could be catastrophic.
Traveler, do you remember when we encountered Rarir just after regaining his body? There wasn't a shred of sanity left. Nothing but madness and rage.
Yeah, didn't he shout out a bunch of names? Then he started raving about how nothing in this world mattered to him. Oh, Paimon gets chills just thinking about it. Oh, but the thought that he's still out there, lurking somewhere in Not Cry, waiting for his chance to strike? Oh, even chillier.
Last time we fought, we were already at a disadvantage. If he has such overwhelming strength, why would he suddenly go into hiding?
Yeah, if I were him and I wanted more Kuvaki, I'd just take it by force. No point staying in the shadows. Unless something went wrong. His whole resurrection thing didn't exactly go smoothly.
The other thing is, how does someone who's completely lost their mind still have the wherewithal to cover their tracks so perfectly?
Beats me.
According to certain medical studies, insanity does not always entail a complete loss of rationality. It may be that he is simply living in a world of his own.
That actually sounds about right. He was ranting away to himself the whole time. Like he had zero interest in talking to us.
There are many unanswered questions here. He could be right under our noses, and we'd still be in the dark. Besides his name and title, we know little about him. Certainly nothing about his past, or what he might be hoping to achieve.
Exactly. And we wouldn't even know where to begin looking. Even Boss hadn't heard of the Rahir of Solnari before all this. I'd be willing to bet that even if we gathered together every scrap of intel in Nodcry, we still wouldn't find more than, like, 3 useful facts about him.
So, if we do nothing, he'll just keep getting stronger. But if we want to investigate him, we have no idea where to look. Last time we had Marionette and her big robo-buddy to help us, and we still barely held our ground. If we had to face him alone... Oh, Paimon's head hurts just thinking about it. What are we supposed to do against a threat this big?
Well, I do have a little hunch about his next move. Given that he attacked the quarry, I'd say it's likely he'll target other places rich in Kuvaki. Somewhere like the Eye of Krati, or the Pillar of Embla. One thing's for sure. If we just sit back and let him keep absorbing Kuvaki, we really won't stand a chance against him.
A perfectly reasonable hypothesis. However, it is worth noting that these 2 locations are quite far apart. To investigate them both, we'll need to split up.
I agree, we should split up. Right now, Rarir's goal seems to be gathering Kuvaki, not fighting us directly. Once we're done, let's regroup on Hisi Island.
Wait, why Hisi Island?
If I recall correctly, your largest goddess statue was carved from Kuvaki-rich ore, was it not?
That's right. Yes, it could well be a potential target of his. I should head back and start evacuating the pilgrims.
Splitting up's always gonna be risky. But I guess we don't have much choice, right? We're in a race against time here.
And if we do run into Rarir, what then?
That's when you follow the 3rd rule of treasure hunting. Run like the wind.
Didn't you say the 3rd rule was go with the flow?
I don't know. Did I? Anyway, whatever. In this situation, go with the flow means go find backup.
Agreed. If anyone finds so much as a trace of Rarir, do not pursue him. Get out of the area and alert the rest of us as soon as possible. We need to put safety first.
All right, we'd better get moving. Come on, Anefa, let's go.
Should we head to Boo Boo Pharmacy today? Fingers crossed we learned something useful.
Any leads?
Nope. Diddly squat. No clues to where he might be hiding. It's like he's a ghost. It feels like we're sitting on a powder keg that could go off at any second. Oh, I hate this feeling. I'd rather face him head on than be left hanging like this.
So, you guys didn't find anything either?
Not loving the word either. How about you, Flint's?
I questioned a few Ratniki and eventually narrowed my investigation down to one suspicious individual. But by the time I got to his place, he was already gone. Almost as if he knew someone was on to him. Either that or he's just extremely cautious and doesn't stay in one place for long.
He's been biding his time for a while now. The question is, where or what is his next target?
No idea. Since regaining his body, he seems to have lost all interest in the fragment in my possession. If he did still want it, he's had plenty of chances to take it.
All we can do now is hope that Ino and Anefa turn up some leads. Darn it, Rarir. If you've got the guts, come face me one-on-one! Wait, he's actually here? I didn't mean it! I swear!
No, it's coming from Silver Moon Hall. The Lady Kutar might be in danger.
Let's get over there, quick!
No time for questions. Stop him!
This is insane.
Yehuda, get Kutar out of here!
On it.
Look where your feeble light has gotten you. Now you shall plunge into darkness. Thalindus, soon I will find a way.
Watch out!
Barely made it out of there alive. What's that guy's deal? How'd he get so crazy strong?
He's a threat to this entire nation. I doubt his strength could even be measured by conventional standards.
I have a question. When me and Nefer showed up, we saw him chasing after this lady like he wanted her dead. What was that all about?
We weren't there for the whole thing either. They were already duking it out by the time we arrived.
Yeah, we didn't see how it all started. It all escalated so quickly, we had no choice but to step in.
Kutar, can you shed any light on the situation?
Kutar. Cross-checking database. I see. So you're the one that the Frost Moon Scions refer to as the Moon Goddess?
Wait, she's the moon goddess? Oh, no wonder she looks just like all those statues.
There are many reasons why people might worship the moon, and just as many why they might despise it. I've never met that person before, but there was no mistaking his deep-seated hostility towards me. Why he holds me in such contempt, I cannot say. But since he hunts the power of the moon, it's no surprise that I am a target.
Kutar.
There are many potential motives. For instance, you help the traveler escape his grasp. This could be his way of taking revenge. It is also possible that he covets the Kuvaki inside you and seeks to take it for his own. The list goes on. But right now, devising a counter-strategy should be our #1 priority. The likelihood of this location being discovered is close to 100%.
A counter-strategy? We don't stand a chance against an enemy like this. Surely our only option is to run. He's not gonna chase us to the end of the world, right? So as long as we can sneak out of Nodcry undetected. No, I can't say that. Come on, Yehoda, this is serious stuff. You can't suggest we all just chicken out.
Running is our only option.
Huh?
You seem surprised, but what other choice do we have? We are facing an enemy we cannot possibly defeat in battle.
Well, I mean, yeah, but still.
It's not too late. I can distract him, so you have plenty of time to make your escape.
Wait, what? You're gonna act as bait?
Doesn't that make sense? I'm the one he's after. There's no need for you to risk your necks on my behalf. A coyote doesn't stop for bypassers while it's howling at the moon. What is it, Loma? The Frost Moon Scions have already grown accustomed to life without their goddess. My presence here is no longer essential, and this is not my home, so you needn't ask me to stay.
We can't just roll over and let him get away with this. That's not our style.
Yeah, we can't just call it quits after everything we've been through together. Besides, she'd pretty much saved my life back there. If I just ditched her now, I'd never forgive myself.
We can't overlook that you have saved our lives multiple times now. To talk of returning the favor would be a little crass for my liking. But suffice to say that we are friends, and friends look out for one another.
River's true objective remains unclear. Even if we were to sacrifice Miss Kutar, there's no guarantee he would stop.
But
Kutar, I know why you left the Frost Moon Scions so long ago. It was because people started treating prayer as a form of trade. They would make self-centered wishes, force you to accept meaningless offerings in return, and then expect you to perform miracles for them, as if that were their entitlement. If it were me, I might have walked away too. But I believe that time can change everything, and that sometimes it takes losing something precious to appreciate its true worth. After much reflection, I've realized that this was never about whether the Frost Moon Scions need you. Any relationship based on need is purely transactional. What I truly hope is that you'll choose to stay, not out of obligation, but as part of our family. You were born here, and now you've returned. Who knows? Perhaps it was the moonlight that guided you home.
Thank you, Lauma. But my power is on the wane. I'm afraid I will be of little use to you now. Very well then. I'll do as you say.
Both times you saved us, we were transported across great distances in an instant. Is that one of your powers as the moon goddess?
It is, but I find it very draining. I barely managed to pull it off just now, and it will be some time before I'm strong enough to do so again. Rejected by the world, my power is dwindling. Like a lake cut off from its source, slowly shrinking away. Now, it has almost run dry.
What do you mean, rejected by the world?
The 3 moons belonged to the ancient bygone era in which they came into being. From the moment I was born, the world itself has been steadily sapping away at my strength. The 3 moons are not one and the same. As the goddess of the frost moon, I cannot wield the powers of the other 2. Yet moonlight has a way of blending together. Each can reflect the other's glow. So when our fingers touched, I was able to restore my strength by drawing Kuvaki from the eternal moon's marrow. But this method of recovery is painfully slow. If only we could find the...
It's the Wild Hunt!
Even faster than we expected. We'll have to finish this conversation later.
See how those wild hunt creatures are running away from us. They're likely just a scouting party, which means Rerir won't be far behind.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get the heck out of here!
Everlasting.
The night cometh. Close your eyes.
He just keeps coming! He's driving me nuts!
Rerir's closing in on us. We need to pick up the pace.
There's too many of them! And this time, you can't fall back on the car's house to escape! It goes on much longer.
Beware the creatures out there.
For the
What's the matter? Bit off more than you could chew?
Who are you? Uncle Varka! You're back from Amsvartnir? Whoa! You're Varka? Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius?
We could save the intros for later. Right now, let's get you all out of this hellhole. Follow me. I know somewhere you'll be safe.
Oh, is that where I think it is?
That's the one. Come on, move! There's no time to waste.
well hidden.
Well, that goes without saying. This is the Knights of Favonius' meeting place in Nodcry, and a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network, aka the black market of intel. No matter what faction you're with, it's the place to buy and sell information. Their headquarters are in Nodcry, but they've got contacts in every nation. As an expeditionary force on foreign soil, working with them has offered us the most effective way of getting our hands on reliable local intel. This is where we meet, so naturally, it's secure. Anyway, where were we? Folks from Nodcry should be pretty familiar with me by now, but I believe this is the first time we've met. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Varka, Knight of Boreas, and Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius.
We've heard all about you. This meeting's been a long time coming. You look way younger than Paimon expected, but you definitely have that Grand Master vibe.
Well, I'm no spring chicken. Just not showing my age yet. Definitely feeling some of that back pain today, though. Rushed back from Amsfartnir without a wink of sleep, only to get right into another fight with that freshly revived maniac.
Another? You mean you fought him before?
Yep. He wasn't nearly as strong back then, but he was still a formidable foe. I brought some of the knights along to give him a little surprise, but he saw us coming from a mile off. My squad took heavy injuries, and I barely made it out alive myself. We knew it might have been our last chance, so we staked everything on it. But still, it wasn't enough to stop him. I tried tracking him down afterwards, but he didn't leave a trace. Even in his unhinged mental state, he's as cautious as any trained operative. So, I decided to come find you. And as luck would have it, turned up to find you being ambushed by the Wild Hunt. The rest, you already know.
Is that why he's been frantically absorbing Kuvaki these past few days? Because he sees you as a threat?
Maybe I'm part of the equation, but even if I weren't, I'm sure he'd still be gathering power. He's clearly working up towards something.
Note to self, Uncle Varka's strength rating officially upgraded.
Guess it's my turn to ask questions now. So, what exactly has been happening in Nodcry? Why is the Wild Hunt returned in humanoid form? And why is it after you?
That's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick.
Wow, I had no idea so much had happened. Sounds like you guys have really been through it. So, the Kutar is actually a Fatui Harbinger. And all this Wild Hunt activity in Nodcry is the work of the Raker of Solnari, one of the 5 sinners. That's a lot to take in. Need some time to wrap my head around it all.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Varka. You stood with us against the Wild Hunt and did everything you could to stop it from escalating into a full-blown catastrophe. And then, the one time you're away, it all comes to a head and all your hard work gets undone.
You've got nothing to apologize for, Miss Moonchanter. You can plan 100 steps ahead and still slip up. That's just life. No one knows what tomorrow holds. You can't predict which way the wind will blow next. And, to be perfectly honest, I can't say I'm surprised. For all the times we've defeated the Wild Hunt in the past, we've never been able to completely wipe it out. Turns out, we were just delaying the inevitable. But now that a new variable has come into play, fate may well take a different course.
A new variable? You mean us?
Who else? And in a strange way, I think his resurgence might not be an entirely bad thing. The Wild Hunt is like an unrelenting force of nature, but Rerir is an individual with an agenda. He's gotta have a weak spot somewhere. That said, while I was explaining everything just now, some of the points that Mr. Flint's added caught my attention.
You mean about our mystery ally?
That's right. From what you've said, not only did they lead you straight to some key files, they also shielded Hisi Island from a lethal Kuvaki blast. I don't know who or what could pull something like that off. Heck, even Miss Columbina doesn't have a clue.
I hadn't heard the story about those files. Would you mind repeating their titles for me?
Wild Hunt Phenomena Log, a Nodkryan Ratnik's Field Journal, and Kuvaki Survey Log.
Oh. No. Still doesn't ring a bell.
Another dead end. Guess all we can do now is hope that our mystery ally keeps showing up when we most need them. Still, it's safest to assume they won't be intervening again. From here on out, we'll have to resolve this crisis by ourselves. Your intel also explains something else I've been wondering about. The reason I led my team to Amsfarnir was because we'd had reports about a possible source of the Wild Hunt showing up there. But once we looked into it, it turned out to be a red herring. I don't know who was behind it, but clearly, it served its purpose. I doubt it's by chance that he happened to make his comeback while my attention was diverted. And from everything you told me, it sounds like his scheming began well before his return. So maybe luring me away was all a part of his plan. But is it even possible that he orchestrated all of this by himself? The Moon Maiden and the Raker of Solnari, Nodcry of all places. The way everything is unfolding, it can't be a coincidence.
So, what do we do now? Got any ideas?
Right now, we've got at least 3 things to consider. Let's go through them one by one. First, we need to figure out how to take down Rerir. If we can't beat him in a straight-up fight, the rest won't even matter. To my knowledge, the bulk of Nodcry's fighting force is already gathered here. But even with everyone united, we're still no match for Rerir in his current state, let alone with his power still growing.
What if there was a way to tap into a new power of our own?
How so?
Have you thought of something, Columbina?
3 moons once watched over this world. The Eternal Moon was the largest, the Frost Moon was the brightest, and the Iridescent Moon was the most mysterious. They say that back then, the 3 moon goddesses wielded immense power, enough to shape the workings of the world itself. I now bear the Frost Moon's power, and the Eternal Moon's marrow resides within the Traveler.
Hold on. Are you suggesting?
The Iridescent Moon, the last piece in the puzzle.
That's right. If we can find the Iridescent Moon's marrow, I will be able to regain my strength much more quickly.
The 3 moons are said to stir the tides and illuminate all things. Perhaps they hold further secrets beyond our understanding.
According to my analysis, the solution is feasible. However, it is subject to one major condition. How do we locate the Iridescent Moon's marrow?
I know a way, but we will need to visit the Fatui's Experimental Design Bureau.
The Experimental Design Bureau? Are you saying we need to involve Marionette?
Yes. I must speak with Sandrone.
It's a long way from here to the Experimental Design Bureau. There's a high chance you'll be spotted. You shouldn't go alone.
Then that's settled. Next up, our second priority. Somehow, we need to figure out Rerir's end goal. As you saw for yourselves, when he was still in his Wild Hunt form, everything he did was for the sake of recovering his body and resurrecting himself. His first act since then, after laying low for a while, was to try and assassinate this young lady. People's obsessions often reveal their greatest vulnerabilities. There must be a reason why he despises the moon so deeply. Perhaps it sheds some light on his title, the Raker of Solnari. The Wild Hunt has plagued Nodcry for centuries now. If we want to stop it for good, we have to get to the root cause of what's driving it.
It's true. We still know very little about him. If Kuthar hadn't given us that lead, we wouldn't even know his name.
But where would we even start? I doubt even the Intel Queen of Nodcry has a clue, and she has info coming out of her ears.
Oh? That's a rather hasty conclusion for someone who's so painstakingly meticulous when it comes to dealing with machines.
Ah! She hurt me!
Boss! What are you doing here?
I'm now asking myself the same question. I received a letter from a humble knight of Favonius, requesting a meeting to discuss a major business deal. But it looks like this humble knight had something else in mind.
Details, details. Miss Nefer, the important thing is that you've arrived at the perfect time. Since his failed ambush, I've been racking my brains trying to come up with a plan to fight Rerir. Given the severity of the situation, I think it's fair to say that our only chance lies in uniting as one. And I'm talking all the factions in Nodcry. We can't do this without the Curatorium, but I knew it'd be a tough job to win you over. So, I took the liberty of reaching out for a little chat.
Wait a sec. How did you even hear about this place, Nefer? Didn't you say this is meant to be the Knights of Favonius' meeting spot? And a contact hub for the Northern Intelligence Network? And isn't it supposed to be super hidden?
You really think he could have gotten settled in Nodcry without my help? Besides, I'm the one running this gig. Of course I know where the meeting place is.
Allow me to introduce the current head of the Northern Intelligence Network. If it's intel you're after, she's your woman. Pretty much seen and heard it all.
Please spare me the flattery. Let's cut to the chase. Seems like you've run into some trouble, huh? Well, this certainly qualifies as an unforeseen crisis. On behalf of the Curatorium of Secrets, I wish you all the best of luck.
So you're just going to sit this one out?
Why should I get involved? What could possibly be in it for me?
What if we told you we can't do this without you?
Oh? Then I'd say, you'd better make it worth my while. I don't work for free.
I can't put a price on something like this. It's just not in my nature. But then again, you and I have always been polar opposites in this regard. So I can't exactly say I didn't see this coming. If you insist on compensation, I will pay you. Consider this a formal commission. Sound fair?
You just don't give up, do you? Too bad. I know you well enough to know you can't afford my prices. The riskier the job, the more it'll cost. And a Moonchanter's stipend isn't exactly generous. Unless you're planning to start passing the donation box around among the faithful.
Boss, just a thought. If they come up short, maybe you can take the difference out of my next few paychecks. Things got really dangerous during the fight with Rerir. If this girl hadn't saved me, I'd be ley line fodder by now. I'd be gone for good, boss. If there's any way we can make this work, I'd really like to help her. Please? I'm begging you.
This is why I'm always telling you never accept favors. They are the hardest debts to repay. You have to be careful who you get involved with, or you invite all kinds of misfortune. Very well, Yehoda, I will help. But just this once. Don't count on this happening again. Flynn's, that fragment that Rerir was after, do you still have it on you?
Of course.
Let me borrow it. I need it to follow up on some leads.
Wait, you actually have some leads?
Shh. This is top secret information.
I get it. We all have things we'd rather keep to ourselves. Plus, I know we can count on you, so we'll leave the intel gathering in your hands. And that brings me to the third and final item. We need to find a way to distract him. We need time to make our move, so someone will have to stall him. I'm in for this part, no matter what. Anyone coming with?
Count me in too.
Come off it, you two. Quit playing heroes. I'm way ahead of you here. And Nefer did a scan of the Moon Goddess's Kuvaki signature, and we're gonna use it to make some decoys over at the Kramkake craft shop. Anyone who's in, follow me. Once they're ready, we'll deploy the decoys across Nodcry. So as long as the rest of you keep moving, he won't catch on to your scent and won't be able to track you down.
I like it. Genius idea.
No biggie.
All right then, we'll split into 3 teams. Once your team has finished their mission, return here and wait for the others. Dismissed!
Lady Damselette. Wait, and you two? What are you doing at the Kuvaki Experimental Design Bureau? We've been doing our best to mind our own business lately. But if you're just gonna waltz up here like this, you're seriously pressing your luck. Don't blame us for doing what we have to.
Huh. You really think that's gonna scare us off?
We're not looking for any trouble. I just want to see Sandrone.
Do I need to remind you that you're still a wanted fugitive for deserting us? Out of consideration for our former ties and the crisis we're all up against, we'll let you leave in one piece. But don't even think about trying to get inside.
Let them in.
But...
Are you going to make me repeat that?
No, my lady.
Sandrone seems to be in a good mood. Must be maintenance day.
So tell me, to what do I owe the honor this time? Actually, before you answer that, just so we're clear, we're not colleagues anymore, Columbina. I don't owe you anything.
I promise it's nothing big.
It seems like you've gotten the wrong idea here. The only reason I let you in was because I was bored. It seemed like a way to kill some time and satisfy my own curiosity. Whatever miscalculations I may or may not have made in the past, I haven't lost the plot enough to even consider sticking my neck out for your sakes.
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino.
What? Huh? You mean the knave?
I'd like to speak with Arlecchino. Is she in Nodcry?
No, she's not. Once the work on this facility was completed, she went back with the Rooster and Regrator. The only ones in Nodcry are me and... What is it you need to speak to her about anyway?
Rerir is hunting me. If I'm going to face him, I must first retrieve the lost moon. Is that a no, then?
As if I need reminding. I was this close to settling things with him before someone decided to whisk me away to their weird little garden.
Have you held any tea parties lately?
Tea parties? Yeah, obviously. You don't seriously think we'd pack it all in just because you aren't here. If anything, they've been more eventful than ever. Just me, Arlecchino, and a bunch of insolent, insensitive guests who won't stop asking where you've gone. Oh, they've been a real joy.
I bet you served them the worst tea you have. Just like you used to do to me when I upset you.
Who cares about how good the tea is when there's no one around to drink it? I keep losing people. First Rosaline, now you. I'm running out of people who can make me laugh. Honestly, what could be more ridiculous than a multi-centenarian goddess who's only ever had the plain herbal tea she received as offerings?
You'd always brew a different type of tea for me each time. Was it really just to see how I'd react?
Well, duh. Why else? Watching you squirm was practically my only form of entertainment. Oh, yeah. And Capitano sometimes used to bring Tartaglia around too. But I guess we won't be seeing him again. Well, I guess we are overdue for a get-together. Polonia! Have Favronia pass a message to Arlecchino for me. It's time for tea. Will suffice. Pass along a message for me, too, if you would. My body cannot contain the marrow of 2 moons, so I'll be leaving one of them in her care. Excuse me? Who said you were on the guest list? If my tea meant that much to you, maybe quitting the Fatui wasn't your brightest move. Back when you were under the Tsaritsa's protection, no one would have dared come at you so openly. But that protection didn't come for free. In fact, I paid dearly for it. At the end of the day, it was just another transaction. I just got tired, that's all. I never wanted any part in their grand ambitions, and I've had enough of being treated like a bottomless supply of power. It brings back memories from the old days, when I was still worshipped as the moon goddess. Centuries on, it may be a different group of people, but I see the same greed in their eyes. I figured you'd leave eventually. You didn't have as much of a reason to stay as I do. The Tsaritsa gave you shelter and protection, but that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. Meanwhile, the Fatui demanded everything from you in return, until it was more than you could bear. I get why you left. And frankly, I have no interest in dragging you back just because the higher-ups told me to. But if you keep hanging around with this riffraff, the next time we cross paths, we might be enemies for real. Guess that's our cue to leave? That might be your plan. But it sounds like someone else wants you to stay a little longer. Huh? What do you mean? See for yourselves.
My lady, it's the Wild Hunt. A horde of monsters is headed straight for the facility.
Another uninvited guest trying to crash my tea party. Clear the area! I'll handle this. Wait, what? You want us to leave you here by yourself? Huh, you'll be lucky to make it out of this alive. You really think you can afford to worry about me? Go on, get out of here. You may have stopped Polonia from crushing him last time, but I've made sure that won't happen again. The entire Experimental Design Bureau is rigged for war. Stay and watch if you want, but it'll be at your own risk. You're not flagged as friendlies in the weapons system. Don't tell me what to do! Look, if you're leaving, make it quick, or you'll just get in my way. There's a secret passage on the 2nd floor. It'll take you right to the plains out back. Stare all you want, Columbina. You're not getting another invitation to my tea party.
I know. But thank you anyway, Sandrone.
This is exactly why you shouldn't hang around with those people. All their melodrama and sentimental nonsense is rubbing off on you. Come on then, Mr. Ray here. Let's pick up where we left off. It's your Wild Hunt monstrosities versus my beautiful creations. Let's see who comes out on top.
Polonia, get him!
I've upgraded Polonia again since our last encounter, and uploaded every last scrap of your data. So let's finish this, once and for
She's not here. Where did she go?
Hey, over here, you big...
Cursed moon. Go. Keep searching. She cannot have gotten far.
So this is your method for investigating Rarir's past? It almost looks like some kind of ceremony.
Good deduction. But it's quite a different affair from what you're used to with the Frost Moon Scions.
Whoa! First time I've ever been in here. Boss always said it was off limits, so I pictured some kind of creepy dungeon. But it's actually kinda nice. Oh, I guess this must be Sumero decor? That's where Boss is from. And that nice shopkeeper who sold me my treasure compass.
I'm not sure exactly what you've got planned, but it looks like you're all set. When do we begin?
Whenever we wish. But for some reason, I've got a feeling this isn't going to end well. I've never faced Rarir myself, but from what you've told me, his power is beyond anything I could imagine. I, on the other hand, am just an ordinary businesswoman. Our paths should never have crossed, yet here I am, forced to make an enemy of him.
If you ask me, you're about as far from ordinary as it gets. So what are you saying? You're getting cold feet?
Once I take a job, there's no backing out. Still, I have to ask myself if the power I'm relying on will even work on an opponent of this caliber. And also how to make sure I come out of this alive if things spiral out of control. Death is the one thing we can take for granted. It is the great equalizer, however fortunate or unfortunate we may otherwise be. So it's important to consider how to spend what lifespan we have left.
Come on, boss. Lighten up. Quit talking about death. It's bad luck.
For once, I agree with you. When you're up against a foe like Rarir, there's no such thing as being too prepared. Is there anything I can do to help?
That won't be necessary. I've already made up my mind. Time to cash in a precious favor I've been saving for a rainy day. Yehoda, I need you to find someone for me. The sooner the better.
Find who?
That shady merchant who sold you an overpriced treasure compass the other day.
Come on, boss. You're pulling my leg again. In what way is she shady? She showed up when I was completely lost and sold me a neat little gadget that was exactly what I needed. Trust me, she's a good person. Anyway, I know who you're talking about. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. What's happening to me? I genuinely can't run any further.
Hey, aren't you?
What is it? What's the big rush? You dragged me out of a dream where I was literally swimming in Mora. I'm charging double my usual attendance fee. See, look how easygoing she is. After that rude awakening, she could have completely snapped at us. But instead, she kept it together and just asked for an extra fee.
Dori Sangama Bay? I never would have pictured you two doing business together.
If you want to make it big in Nodcry, it's all about connections. Lady Nefer just so happens to have a lot of intel that interests me. And she also did me a big favor in the past. It was back when I first arrived in Nodcry. My trusty assistant, the genie in my lamp, had an adverse reaction to the Kuvaki and fainted. And wouldn't you know it, that's when I suddenly find myself in a life-or-death situation. Good thing my compatriot was there to swoop in and save the day. I've been giving her a 30% discount off all of my goods ever since. Now, so that no one here feels left out, I'm willing to extend a 20% discount to fellow friends of Boss Nefer. Plus, any other friends you send my way will enjoy 10% off. What can I say? The great Lord Sangama Bay is nothing if not generous. So, let me guess. You've run into some trouble? I've got everything you could possibly need, and the more you buy, the more you'll save.
You guessed correctly. What have you got in the way of survival gear?
The one type of gear I've never been short on. What are you looking for? A jetpack fresh from the Academia's labs? An ancient suit of armor dredged up from the bottom of the sea? At the very least, I need to know what kind of opponent you're dealing with here. If even you're worried about staying alive, it must be pretty serious.
What if I told you it's someone with the power to bring a nation to its knees?
Is that so? Then we really are talking top-shelf treasures. I don't have anything like that in stock right now. I'll have to ask my supplier.
Your supplier?
A powerful woman, make no mistake. I can't reveal her identity, but luckily for you, I hear she's planning to visit Nodcry in the near future. If you're willing to wait, I can ask her when she's here. Can't say exactly how long that'll be, though.
Then, let me put it another way. What would you do if you encountered an enemy like that? Roll over and serve yourself up on a silver platter?
Of course not! I have a handy little trinket from one of my generous suppliers, which... Hold on. What exactly are you getting at? No, no! This is for my personal use only!
Let's just say I'm borrowing it, all right? Just for insurance purposes. You'll get it back later. Favors are the worst kind of debt to owe, and now you've got a chance to repay one. A win-win situation, don't you think?
Fine. You can borrow it for 5 days. No, make that 3. And for every extra hour after that, I'm charging you 1,000,000 more. Deal?
Deal.
What a way to start the day. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Or can I go back to bed now?
That will be all. Take care now. Don't trip up on your way back, friend.
See you later! You're my favorite shopkeeper.
Excellent. Everything is well and truly ready. The ceremony can now begin. After initiating the ceremony, your minds will follow me wherever I go. You will see many strange things in your mind's eye. So remember, don't be frightened, and don't make a sound. Now then, let us peer into the Raker of Solnari's past. I made it. I don't recognize this style of architecture. Must be Conrian. Simple furnishings, table and chairs. It's a more ordinary house than I might have expected. Looks like the fearsome Raker of Solnari came from surprisingly humble beginnings. Unless this passed for luxury in Conria. Unlikely. It was said to be a very prosperous nation in its heyday. Anyway, I'll keep exploring.
Hi, Rivier. Since you're working extra hours tonight, I thought I'd keep myself busy by checking out that new kebab shop. I've heard good things about their menu. I'll test it out, and if it's as good as everyone's saying, let's go back together sometime. P.S. New stash from the Universitas Magistrorum. I brought some goodies home. A few teacups and a pin rack. Hope you like them.
They didn't sign their name, but they must have been close. Sounds like they were living together.
I went over to Joseph's for drinks today. They have a fine collection, but I went alone. Felindis was tied up with something and couldn't make it. Joseph asked why I came alone, but I didn't really have an answer. He then went on to ask about other things. If you ask me, someone who asks that many personal questions is too nosy for their own good. But if he invites me again, chances are I'd still go.
Felindis. That's the same name Rerir mentioned.
Crane imports keep falling. If things don't pick up, we'll soon be back to meat and mushrooms only. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that new type of mushroom everyone's been into lately. Didn't it start out as a lab-grown variety? I heard it's even mildly corrosive. Seriously, why would you even eat something like that? I don't care if it's an impressive feat of alchemy. That just isn't the kind of thing I like to eat.
Grain has to be imported, and they're eating a diet of mostly meat and mushrooms. Could it be because Conria is underground, so it doesn't get much sunlight? That would explain why they use so much stone in their buildings. They even use alchemically modified strains for food. Seems like the people of Conria don't have many options when it comes to dining.
I've just about saved up enough now. Time to buy it and keep it somewhere safe.
Making a big purchase. I wonder what it is. He really is a professional. No wonder he's so good at covering his tracks. Despite what he's become, it seems like he's retained certain habits, at least in this regard. Did Rary rip it out himself?
Before I met you, I was convinced that my heart was nothing more than a stagnant pool. The burial place of a fallen moon. A withered, windless grove where the waters rested forever unrippled. It was you who helped me see that my heart hadn't entirely withered away. That it could still beat to the rhythm of love.
This is just trivial sentimentality from the looks of it. Why would he go to the trouble of hiding that? The burial place of a fallen moon.
Rerir, over here.
Dane! Oh, and, Vediflin here? What a surprise to see you here, sir.
Hello there, Rerir. You need not address me so formally outside of court. He doesn't get that much free time, so I invited him over for a drink. Even the court prophet deserves a break every now and then, right?
Well, I'm flattered.
So, what are we discussing today?
Hey, don't look at me. As far as I see it, we don't need an excuse to have a few drinks.
Come on, don't give us that. Didn't you say you were about to pop the big question? How's that coming along?
Who'd have thought the great Twilight Sword was an even greater gossip?
I just didn't expect you to be the first one to settle down and get married, that's all.
Yeah. If you told me that a few years ago, I wouldn't have believed you either.
So, are you planning to come clean about your job then? I'm guessing you still haven't told her.
Sure, I'll have to tell her at some point. But I'll need to pick the right time and place. To be honest, I have no idea how she'll take it.
Come on, stop being such a pessimist. For all you know, she could be thrilled. I bet she'll be much more impressed by your actual job than the one she thinks you're doing now. A member of the King's Guard. Quite the cover story. Does the king himself even know?
Of course he does. Anyway, enough about me. How have you been?
Me? Same old, nothing much to... Huh? What's up, Ved?
It's nothing.
Vediflin, Dainsleif's elder brother. Renowned throughout the court of Conria as the Visionary, and said to possess a wisdom far beyond the reach of any ordinary man. And yet, despite the gulf between us, he seems to have something to say about me. Does he even know me? Does he see me as a friend of his brother, or just another of the Vinster King's blades? Why did he react so strongly? Was it really to do with what we were talking about?
Brown, curly hair and brooding blue eyes. So this is what Rerir looked like back in the day. Perfectly normal. No different from anyone else. As frightening as this monster is in the present, there's something even more unsettling about seeing the human he used to be.
Felindis? You're back early?
Our equipment's being serviced today, so I got off earlier than usual. How's your day been? Aw, why the long face? Is something the matter? Has your boss been giving you a hard time again?
Went for a drink with Dane and the others after work.
Isn't that a good thing?
Vediflin showed up today, too. You know, Dainsleif's older brother.
Ah, Mr. Vediflin. Yes, I've heard of him. They say that everything he says ends up coming true.
He overheard Dainsleif mention that I'd recently proposed, and seemed to have an issue with it. But when I asked what it was, he kept it to himself.
So, you're worried? You could be such a child sometimes, Rerir. We're nobodies. Why would the Visionary be concerned about us? I'm sure someone in his position has much bigger fish to fry.
Maybe you're right.
You worry too much, Rerir. We've been together for ages now, and everything's been going so well, has it not? You've even proposed to me.
So, you do remember. Tell me then. What's your answer?
Like I said, I need some time to decide. You can't just rush into things like this. We may be nobodies in the grand scheme of things, but if we want things to work out, we've still got to plan ahead.
All right. Take your time. Just don't keep me waiting forever. Nobodies. Sounds about right. In the eyes of people like Bettelfnir and Dainsleif, what do we matter? Can someone whose gaze is so fixed on a far-flung future even see the present clearly? Besides, the dynasty's fate rests with the king and his inner circle. Whatever I do, it won't make much difference. Meanwhile, every idea they come up with and every decision they make, it affects everything. These days, the king is lost in his research, and the purge of the Crimson Moon bloodline grows ever more intense. The opposition tried to speak out, but nothing came of it. And I'm under no illusions as to why. Because we eliminated them and got rid of their bodies. A man can have 1,000 reasons to carry a sword, but there are few good excuses to use it. Yet the king has never even considered a gentler approach, and he never will. What becomes of someone who kills on another's behalf? Can he ever find true peace? Thelindis? It's nothing. You were right. Fate has never smiled upon nobodies like us. But by the same token, it's unlikely to bear a grudge against us either. There's no reason we can't keep living happily together, cherishing the simple joys of each day as they come.
See? You just need to stay positive, Revere. I can feel your warmth, your breath. You're right there, right by my side. Just seeing you makes me happy in a way I can't explain, and that's something that no one could ever take away from me. So smile, my love. Let go of that frown.
You're right, Thelindis. I've just been overthinking things.
That's better. Getting caught up about things like this will only ruin our evening. Speaking of which, all set for the ball tonight? I need to go get ready.
You go ahead. I just have a few things to take care of, then I'll come join you.
Even busier than the big shots, huh? Fine, I'll go get started. But don't be late. If you keep me waiting too long, I won't be a happy bunny.
Relax. I'll be there. Seriously, though, you drive a hard bargain. You're really gonna leave my proposal hanging and still expect me to take you to the ball?
Well, that goes without saying. I already told everyone I'd be coming with a dance partner. Besides, they're two completely different things. Let's take it one thing at a time, all right?
All right. White outfit it is.
It seems like Rerir was deliberately hiding his ties to the intelligence services by giving the impression that he was just an ordinary member of the Venster King's Guard. He clearly doesn't want his would-be fiancée to know about his other life. Then again, that's hardly surprising. People in the intelligence trade rarely do. Who'd have thought we were in the same line of work? Let's dig a little deeper.
Our last operation was a resounding success, and all thanks to you, Rehir of Solnari. In total, we apprehended 32 dregs of the Crimson Moon, and 67 accomplices.
After all these years since the dynasty's fall, so many of them still linger on.
Indeed, it cannot be denied. Yet it was destiny that the Crimson Moon should be overcome by the eclipse, and that His Majesty, the all-seeing Venster King, now guides our nation on the path to prosperity. Conria has no further need for a dead moon. But alas, there will always be those who refuse to see the truth, choosing instead to romanticize the past.
That's not entirely true. Much about the Crimson Moon era was worthy of remembrance. And that's exactly why they keep trying to see it restored. Many of its secrets remain unsolved to this day. As it happens, that's precisely the field of study my partner is devoted to.
You still haven't told her what you really do for a living.
Where would I even start? How do you tell someone that you're one of the king's hand-picked executioners? That your hands are steeped in blood?
You didn't choose this life, any more than I did. Orphans like us don't get a say.
But I'll sure as heck be the one to pay for it. Speaking of which, we need to be more rigorous in the way we identify direct descendants of the Crimson Moon. Someone, it seems, has strong opinions about my future plans. Most likely my marriage in particular. I have a feeling that we may soon become targets of the Crimson Moon's retribution.
Your concerns are not unfounded. They've taken out many of our colleagues these past few years, and for that very reason. These are no helpless lambs we're leading to the slaughter. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. Take care, Rayhir of Solnari. I look forward to toasting you at your wedding.
Thanks, Thorkel. You look after yourself, too. Thelindis, I never wanted to keep this from you. You're the last person I would ever want to lie to. But that's exactly why I can't tell you everything. There are things you shouldn't know. Things you cannot know. The moonlit dynasties are a thing of the past. Yet even now, with the sun shining high in the sky, there are those who would call forth a dead moon's ghost. Could that be why Vedalfnir held back? Or was it because of some court secret he's not at liberty to share? I have to get a clear answer from him. No matter what happens, I will protect Thelindis.
Rayhir seems to be very concerned by Vedalfnir's reaction. Vedalfnir and Dainsleif, the Visionary and Twilight Sword. So that's what they were really like. I've investigated this whole area now. There doesn't seem to be any other memories here. Should I try somewhere else? Wait a second. What's this black smoke?
So, he's late after all. Just you wait, Rayhir. You're in for it. Big time.
Are you waiting for someone, ma'am? Could I tempt you into buying some flowers?
Oh, sure. Pick me out a pretty bunch if you would.
Thank you. But I'm afraid none of them are as pretty as you.
For someone so young, you sure have a way with words, don't you?
I'm only telling the truth. Look me in the eyes. You'll see I'm not lying. May we have a word in private?
Who are you? And what do you want?
It doesn't matter who I am. Too many of our kind have fallen lately, so I decided to take the risk of reaching out. Not long ago, the Rayhir of Solnari led an assault on one of our strongholds. We suffered many casualties, and many who came to our aid lost their lives as well.
Sorry, I don't know why you're telling me this. And I don't want to get involved.
Wait, hear me out. This time we finally got a clear look at his face and learned his true identity. His name is Rayhir, and he claims to be one of the King's guards.
What did you say?
A cruel irony, isn't it? The man you're set to marry leads a double life as a brutal executioner. But surely, you must have caught a whiff of the blood on his hands.
Why are you telling me all of this now?
Simple. It's because...
How strange. Rayhir was nowhere to be seen in that memory. It clearly belonged to Thelindis. Rerir couldn't possibly know what happened if he wasn't even there. Why would her memories appear in his fragment? The ceremony won't last much longer. I think it's time to call it a day.
So that was your doing? Did you just pull us inside Rerir's fragment to spy directly on his memories?
Any more questions, and I'll have to start charging.
I had no idea you could do that, boss! Seriously, that was amazing! We're not worthy. We're not worthy! I gotta admit, though, I'm itching to see what happens next. Feels like we barely scratched the surface.
I'm just as curious as you are, but the ceremony only allows for limited time inside. That's all we can see for now. Luckily, we managed to learn quite a lot.
So far, so good. I just hope the others are doing okay too. Especially the group with the Traveler. Their mission is a risky one. Let's hope it's all going smoothly.
If you're worried about them, go see how they're doing.
If I know Boss, she's gonna need some time to write up all the details and make sure it's all coherent. I'll stay behind to lend a hand, but feel free to head back and meet up with the others.
Shine down! Now you shall perish! You can't run! Light! Illusion shattered! There is no escape!
I suppose this will do. I suppose this will do.
Oh, they might not have seen us yet, but with them constantly sweeping the area, our way out is completely blocked. Oh, that's never gonna work. One little slip up and it's game over. If they spot us, they'll run straight back to Rear. And once he knows we're here, it won't be long before he's breathing down our necks again. Oh, guess you're right. All right, time to zip it. Hi! We almost got spotted! Phew! That was a close call. Watch out! They're coming this way! Keep going. We're nearly there. This is the final hurdle. Oh, there's no end to these things.
Fire.
Fire? Wait, what's that smell? Oh no, there's a fire!
You look weak, Columbina. The old you would never have let such lowly creatures bar your way. Word has it that you did something for the Tsaritsa, and that's why you've lost most of your power. Freedom comes at a heavy price, doesn't it?
It's Arlecchino! You came!
Hello again, Columbina. And greetings, guests of the House of the Hearth.
It's been a while, Arlecchino.
Stupid right here of stupid Solnari. Ugh, whatever. I've got all the data I need. Next time we meet, you're finished. He sure doesn't pull his punches.
Excuse me, do you need a hand?
You can do me a favor by staying out of my way. Can't you see I'm busy? Wait a minute. I recognize that voice.
Hello, Miss Sandrone. Father sent us over to help.
How considerate of her. Hey, Fremine, get over here and help me fix this. Lenny, you do your thing. Just keep your sister away from my machines. Nearly every machine that cat girl touches ends up going haywire. Go put her on cleaning duty or something.
Then let's start downstairs. Fremine, we'll leave this place to you.
You've got it.
Wait a second. Pretty sure there's still some tea in the cupboard. If you want some, you'll have to make it yourselves.
It's a relief to see you all made it back in one piece.
Huh? Feels like there's quite a few people missing. Where's Flint's and the others? And what about Nefer?
I returned ahead of them. Flint is helping Aino and Nefer to set up the decoys and buy us some time. As for Miss Nefer...
Boss is still wrapping things up on her end. She sent us back to fill you all in on the top secret intel we've been gathering.
I see. Then let's get right into it. But first, who do we have here? You brought someone else in to help?
Greetings. I was invited here to help as a longtime Tea Party companion of Columbina's. You may call me Arlecchino.
Surely it can't be.
Those eyes. Oh, where have I seen them before? Wait, of course. In those memories we just saw.
The only Arlecchino I know is the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers. So either you share a pretty uncommon name, or you're more than just a Tea Party buddy.
You are well informed, Grandmaster. A man from Mondstadt living all the way out here in Nodcry, and yet the people and affairs of Snezhnaya seem to hold a special place in your heart.
Oh, the feeling's mutual. Sounds like you know all about who I am, too.
A Fatui Harbinger.
The atmosphere in here just got really tense. Guess we can't just start trusting Fatui Harbingers, even at a time like this.
I must admit, though, I'm a little curious. Seeing as the moon goddess no longer belongs to the Fatui, What makes you so willing to put your neck on the line here?
Nor does Nodcry belong to Mondstadt, Mr. Varka. Yet still, you're fighting for it all the same. Things don't always have to have a tangible payoff. Sometimes, stopping things from spiraling out of control is a higher priority than chasing the spoils of victory. Of course, I can't say there's nothing in it for me at all. But that's between Columbina and myself.
Forgive me. I don't mean to doubt you. It's just that the Fatui really have been the source of many of our troubles. We have our own way of doing things here in Nodcry. But ever since they arrived, the Fatui have treated us with nothing but hostility.
I know there's been a lot of bad blood between us in the past. I've done my utmost to avoid friction whenever I could. But sometimes fundamental conflicts of interest simply can't be settled amicably. That's why I'm here solely in a personal capacity. This has nothing to do with the Fatui. As a gesture of good faith, I'll be frank. I can help Columbina track down the iridescent moon's marrow, which will help her restore more of her power. Anyway, what else is on the agenda? Let's begin.
She says she'll be frank, then completely skips over the details. Looks like she doesn't want to give away too many secrets after all. But she clearly wants to change the subject. It'd be awkward if I tried to bring it up again now. I guess we'll just have to go along with it. She's the fourth of the Fatui Harbingers after all. One look and you can tell she's not someone you'd want to mess with.
Well, since Miss Arlecchino sounds confident in her ability to handle that, we'll proceed to the next topic. Yehoda, time to share that top-secret intel.
Alright, listen up everyone. First, we now know that Rerir was originally a Conrian secret agent whose primary mission was to hunt down and assassinate the so-called Dregs of the Crimson Moon.
The Dregs of the Crimson Moon?
Mm-hmm. In the memories, there was a lot of talk about the Crimson Moon and Eclipse, and a whole bunch of other stuff from the time of Conria.
To my knowledge, those were the names of two different Conrian dynasties. Long, long ago, it is said that the people of Conria worshipped the Crimson Moon, drawing a mysterious power from its reflection. But one day, a coup saw the Crimson Moon eclipsed, hence the name of the new dynasty that replaced it, and how it became the new emblem of Conria.
Still, long after the Crimson Moon dynasty had fallen, the last ruler of the Eclipse dynasty, the Vinster King, still coveted the secrets it left behind. So, he sent the Rehir of Solnari to secretly hunt down the Crimson Moon's few remaining followers. In those days, Rerir showed no signs of madness. In fact, he was as normal as any other person. Oh, and he had a fiancé, or at least a would-be fiancé, called Tholindis. What's the matter?
Filthy, Rhine-daughter! Tholindis!
Interesting. Anything else? What about this would-be fiancé of his? Do we know anything about her?
Well, she was a researcher at the Universitas Magistrorum, but it felt like she was hiding some kind of secret.
Oh, and one more thing. For some reason, Rerir's fragment also contains some of Tholindis' memories, though only a very small portion.
Well, no shortage of potential leads, I'll give you that. In any case, it sounds like we can conclude that while Tholindis was still around, Rerir appeared to be lucid and quite normal. Tholindis, it seems, must have been the one thing in this world that he couldn't let go of. Tell me though, were these pure-blood Conrians we're talking about here?
Why do you need to know that? Hold on. If she was a pure-blood Conrian... Oh yeah! Just like how it was with the captain!
If we could somehow find her, do you think there's any chance Rerir might regain some of his sanity?
It's possible, but it would take a miracle. We can't pin all our hopes on that. That merchant who Nefer knows, Dori Sangama Bay. Maybe we could hire her to look into it.
All right then. Let's keep working in our separate teams. Traveler, Paimon, Kutar, and Miss Arlecchino will go look for the iridescent moon's marrow. As for the others...
On the way over here, I noticed that the wild hunt monsters had grown even more frenzied in their search for Kutar. At this rate, the people living here will be in grave danger too. So I'm thinking of gathering together some of our followers to go wipe them out.
I'll head back to the curatorium and meet up with the boss.
Feels good knowing we've all got something to be getting on with. Given that the Wild Hunt has been a lot more active lately, the Lightkeepers have likely begun their own operations too. If that is the case, someone will need to pass the news on to Flint's. I'll hold the fort for now, then discuss our next move with Flint's, Aino, and Anefa when they get back.
Alright then.
Well, the clock's ticking. If that's everything, we'll be on our way.
We'd better get moving too. We'll try to buy you as much time as we can.
Relax. Just do your thing. I decided to call in some backup since things are getting so hairy. Our reinforcements should be here any minute now. Stay safe, everyone. Dismissed.
We're back. Did we get here a little early? Or a little late?
A tad late. The others have already set off. To summarize, our resident moon goddess has found us a new ally, and Boss Nefer has uncovered some promising info. Everything going smoothly on your end?
Not great. I don't know how long we can stall them for. The decoys are getting taken out way faster than we imagined. I'm gonna make some more later, but I need a timeout first. I'm so tired right now. Oh, right! Inefa, could you fill in Uncle Varka on what we just discussed with Flint's?
Sure. Uncle Varka, you previously told us about how when you went to investigate a source of the Wild Hunt in Amsvartnir, you discovered that it was just a diversion. But according to Flint's intel, several outbreaks of the Wild Hunt had already occurred in Nodcry in the period leading up to that. That was before Rerir had regained his body, when he was far from regaining his full strength. In other words, in theory at least, he still lacked the means to act in two places at once.
Flint's, with everything that's been happening, the Lightkeepers across Nodcry are rallying to fight back against the Wild Hunt. They're gonna need your help. I know, I'm sure you're capable of coming up with something far more effective than decoys. But for now, you should stay here and get some rest. Anefa and I will head back over to Amsvartnir to see if there's anything I missed.
I told you Uncle Varka would say that, didn't I? A deal's a deal. Not a word about my snack intake for the next week.
Database updated. Reliability of Aino's predictions increased.
What does that mean?
They were betting on how you'd respond after hearing their intel.
It's the obvious choice, isn't it? That's hardly worth betting on.
We already decided that Anefa should go investigate the situation over at Amsvartnir on her own. You might as well stay here and keep watch. Someone needs to hang back and oversee our strategy meetings. And besides, you still haven't fully recovered from ambushing Rerir.
So I've ended up with the easiest assignment. Well, I appreciate it, everyone. See you when you get back.
Here, this will serve as a good spot to cross over.
Arlecchino, hold up a second. Since you brought us all this way, would you mind telling us what you've got planned? We still haven't got the slightest idea what's going on here. And if even Columbina doesn't know where the iridescent moon's marrow is, how do you?
Simple. Because I am an inheritor of the royal bloodline of the Crimson Moon, and one of the last surviving embers of the Two Worlds' flames.
Huh? Are you serious? As in, you're a descendant of that Crimson Moon dynasty we were just talking about? The one from ancient Conria?
Your surprise is understandable. I was also taken aback when I first learned of it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the signs had been there all along. When I was young, I discovered I could wield a very special kind of fire. It coursed like blood through my veins and smoldered away inside my nerves. What's more, whenever I experienced strong bursts of emotion or drew too deeply on this power, it was like some kind of presence within the fire would begin to gnaw away at me, consuming me from the inside out. Exactly. That is why my hands are like this too. At first, I saw it only as a curse, but once I became a harbinger, the jester apprised me of the truth. Together with my own investigations over the past few years, there are several things that I have gradually come to understand. For instance, take the so-called Crimson Moon. In truth, it is nothing more than the shattered remnants of the iridescent moon, fused with the abyss to prolong its lifespan. Since this blood flame was bestowed upon me by the Crimson Moon, it is a fusion of the iridescent moon's former power and the corruption of the abyss. You all understand the nature of the abyss well enough. I draw upon its power, and in return, it hungers for my soul. This strange blackness is the mark of corruption it has left behind.
If I recall correctly, you once told me that if the corruption ever made it to your heart, you'd become a completely different person.
Yes, and that's the reason I'm always careful not to push my power too far. It's essentially a never-ending tug-of-war.
Whew. Sounds intense.
Anyway, the rest of my story can wait. Is there anything else about the Crimson Moon or the iridescent moon that you're unclear about?
Paimon has a question. So, the Crimson Moon that the Carians used to worship was actually the iridescent moon, right? Which was one of the three moon sisters. Does that mean that the Carians were to the Crimson Moon as the Frost Moon Scions are to the Frost Moon?
So much of that history has been lost. We have no way of knowing exactly what they were like. But I would suspect that the Conrians weren't as devout in their moon worship as it might appear. The iridescent moon's remains simply served as their link to the abyss. Later on, perhaps someone discovered a way to make direct contact with the abyss. Or maybe there was some kind of ideological divide. Either way, a dissenting faction staged a coup and drove out the royal heirs of the Crimson Moon dynasty. Still, even with the dark sun looming high overhead, the Crimson Moon's glow never truly faded. If you want living proof, it's standing right before you.
The first time we met, I sensed something familiar in your presence. When I looked at you, I felt I could see that mysterious red moon in the corner of my eye. In your flames, I saw its broken image, surrounded by a strange black aura.
Well, I appreciate that you kept it to yourself. Much about the Crimson Moon is still a mystery, and I'd prefer not to end up as the object of an insane research project. Anyway, time is against us here, so if there's any other questions, they'll have to wait. I just want to make sure I've got one thing straight. In her letters, Sandrone mentioned that since you are unable to contain the iridescent moon's marrow yourself, you intend to leave it in my custody, correct?
That's right. For now, it's the only way I can pay you back for your help. The iridescent moon is already part of who you are, so with its marrow in your possession, you'll be even more powerful than before.
Deal. Then let's get started.
Get what started? What does this place have to do with the Crimson Moon?
When I first became a Harbinger, the Jester gave me a book called Parenheri, also known as Leobranto Innamorato. You should be able to buy a copy next time you're in Fontaine. It's a love story set in the Crimson Moon era, but setting aside the tangled romances of its characters, it also records a few interesting details. In the Crimson Moon era, or so the story goes, there was an orphanage that received children from beyond the bounds of this world, and subjected them to a peculiar induction ceremony.
Beyond the bounds of this world? For real? And what kind of induction ceremony?
The Crimson Moon sages looked beyond this world for beings with powers that surpassed the gods. But fearing they might lose control, they subjected these children to a process of refinement. They made these children crawl up a fireplace and kept asking them, "Have you died? Did you see it?" Until they finally admitted to having died and seen a crimson moon. The adults embraced the children who passed the ritual, telling them, "Within the fireplace, you have traversed the flames between two worlds. Here and now, you are born anew." The book leaves much unsaid, but I suspect that this was their way of branding the children they had enrolled, leaving an indelible mark upon them so that they would forever live in the Crimson Moon's light.
That explains why I can't sense the Crimson Moon's marrow in this world. It makes sense that it would be sealed in a special space that can only be accessed temporarily through some kind of ritual.
But there's no fireplace here. Do you see a chimney anywhere? Oh, are we supposed to build it ourselves? Okay, fine. Paimon will go find some bricks.
That won't be necessary. The fireplace is purely symbolic. The key to the ritual is crossing the flames between two worlds. In other words, the flames that burn within me. Those burned away by such flames leave behind a kind of ghostly afterimage in the world. In the days of Conria, people believed they could be used to bridge the gap between the two worlds of life and death. In short, I can open a passage to that space for you. That's the easy part. The catch is I'll need to stay on this side to keep the passage open, so I won't be able to come with you. Once you're inside, you'll have to find your own way. Very well. Then I'll open it up.
Traveler, spare me a little more moonlight if you would. I may need it. Thank you. I feel like I've recovered some of my strength now. It should be enough to move us across short distances and confront whatever dangers might await.
Mistress of the seven hues of ages past, great mother of the present, crimson-clad sovereign of the two realms, by fire severed, by fire renewed, I offer myself now and beseech your descent. One word of advice. As you're crossing over, no matter what voices you hear, do not answer.
Got it!
I sense a sinister gloom inside, but also the familiar light of the moon. I feel that I am about to meet an old friend who has changed beyond all recognition. All right, let's go. of your broken body, seized by the abyss, and hung up aloft like mummified remains. Iridescent moon, was this truly what you wished for?
Careful! There's something spooky about this place. Feels like something is lurking in the fog. Paimon's right behind you. Whatever you do, don't run off without her. By the way, Alvina, didn't you tell us that the iridescent moon is shattered into pieces? The moon up there looks pretty whole to Paimon. How is that possible?
Illusion shattered!
Just like I thought. It was only a facade.
Inazuma shines eternal!
Go Crescendo! From the Cena with command!
Shine down!
Huh? Huh? For real? That's way too high! There's no way we'll be able to reach it!
No. I'm not sensing anything up there. It's coming from under the mountain.
Let's see... Ah! There's some kind of weird shadow over the water! Wait, see that? Looks like a mechanism of some sort! Let's check it out! Looks like a device from the time of Kalia. Maybe people once came here to study the Crimson Moon's domain, and they left this behind. Oh, if we can activate it, we might find some clues. Hey, look at that! Now that the mechanism's running, the shadow in the water looks different. Do you think these mechanisms might be the key to unlocking the secret? Let's try to find more of them!
Felindis,
We'll leave the rest of the research in your hands. We'll be heading back now.
I hope this isn't ruining date night.
Ugh. Mind your own business. Just leave me some snacks on the table.
Melindis? Is that Rear's girlfriend? How come we're hearing her voice here? Oh yeah. So, do you think she was studying this strange space all along?
The Abyss has made this space extremely unstable. Maybe that's why some of the things she said and did were preserved here. Like echoes. Or after images.
Whenever I see this view, it takes me back to a poem from my childhood. Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel, weeping on the mountain crest. Mourning still in wistful tone, her fragile soul now laid to rest. For me, of all people, to be here investigating the mysteries of the Crimson Moon space. Is it a coincidence? Or something more?
Looks like the Abyss has messed up this mechanism. We need to find a way to get it working again. Let's see if there are any other devices nearby.
There is no escape!
Shine down! Now you shall
So the moon marrow, or rather the power of the 3 moons, is the key to unlocking... If it really does exist, then maybe this madness can finally be put to an end.
The abyssal energy here is too strong! We better pull back for now! Take cover behind the rocks!
Adventure time!
Abyss inhibitors in place, I should be able to access the chamber with the moon marrow. Oh, Rerir, with every step you take, you're drifting further from what you truly desire. But you're not the root of the problem. Ever since that outsider set foot in Conria, the Vinster King has sunken deeper into madness. If only I could get my hands on that outsider.
Reflection is back to normal. Melindis' voice mentioned a chamber with the moon marrow. Do you think maybe it's hidden in the moon's reflection?
It must be. For within it, I sense the fragile aura of a dying soul.
Then there's no time to lose! Let's go! Looks like we'll have to destroy them if we want to get to the iridescent moon's Miro. That must be the iridescent moon's Miro. Oh, we'll need to destroy these things before we can reach it.
Illusion shattered! Let's light it up! Inazuma shines eternal! Let's light it up! There is no escape!
The iridescent moon's marrow, still burning away like an undying flame, yet now contaminated by the abyss. It has taken on a new form entirely. If we can purify the abyssal power within, we should be able to obtain its untainted essence.
It's so cold. Is it you? Are you here? Huh? Are you talking to us? At long last, I can see you once more. Our fates have crossed, and I am finally free. I'm sorry. I lied to you. Even knowing what was to come, I still couldn't let go of the fear in my heart as death drew near. The moment the moon shattered, my body began to split apart piece by piece. Like I was being cut into pieces by 1,000 blunt blades. My thoughts scattered as the cold crept in. But I could not bear to fade away like that. Tell me, what was it that brought you to us all that time ago? If only I had possessed your courage, then I might have been spared this torment more painful than death. You look so puzzled. That's how I felt too when I first saw you. But trust me when I say that everything happens for a reason. Farewell, Hypo. What was that all about? Was that the goddess of the iridescent moon? It sounded like she was speaking to a long-lost friend. But none of us have ever met her before, right?
Perhaps she took me for the goddess of the frost moon she once knew. For a fading soul like hers, our auras must be too similar to tell apart.
But anyway, we've got the iridescent moon's marrow now. That should help you regain your strength, right? Alright, time to leave this place and meet back up with Arlecchino. Let's go! That's odd. This place looks different than when we came in.
Waning moon, oh lifeless damsel.
Hurry! The place is collapsing!
It wants to trap us here.
Who's it? The Abyss?
Now we've taken the moon marrow. All that's left here is a dark will. It will show us no mercy.
Give it back! The crimson moons! My marrow! My heart! Finally! Huh? Oh no! The exit's blocked! They're back! Now what do we do?
This is where you fall. Witness my rise. What are you waiting for?
We made it! Was that you, Arlecchino? Did you save us? Wait, your hands! They're...
Oh, this? Don't worry. It's a small price to pay. The Abyss wanted to trap you inside, and I defied its will by bringing you out. No wonder it's a little angry. No. I have paid the price, albeit a small one, and it cannot be undone. My hands have already fused with the Abyss. Purification would simply destroy whatever's left of them.
But surely... Oh... We're so sorry, Arlecchino. Paimon can't believe you'd make a sacrifice like this for us.
As much as I'd like to call it a favor, the truth is I was simply holding up my end of the deal. Well, Columbina.
Yes, you did your part. And as promised, I will leave the iridescent moon's marrow in your care. From this day forth, may the two worlds' flames burn ever more brightly.
I'll take that as a blessing. Now, Columbina, give me your hand. Accept this moonlight I offer in return. Feeling stronger?
Hey, Columbina! Are you okay?
I'm fine. Our powers are a little at odds, that's all.
By the Frost Moon's authority alone, wielding the power of the other moons was always going to be a stretch. Still, I think it's fair to say that your strength has returned. At least to the level it was at as Third Harbinger.
It's still not enough. There's no way I can hope to challenge Rayrir like this. Just one more ray of moonlight, if you would. It's okay. I can take it.
How about now? Fighting fit?
At the very least, I won't have to stay hidden like before. I want to see him gone from Nodcry. The Rahier of Solnari and his wild hunt must be sent back where they belong.
Well, it's good to have something to aim for. You certainly seem more alive now than you did earlier. When I first met you, you didn't strike me as a ray of moonlight. More like a wisp of fog drifting in from who knows where, ready to scatter at the first sign of a breeze. But now, you're full of vitality. Just like the frost moon, once the brightest of them all. May you keep shining, Columbina. This is who you are.
Thank you. Look after yourself too, Arlecchino. I know you have plans of your own, and that's why you're always seeking to grow stronger. But whatever you're after, don't let the Abyss take a hold of you. I do not wish to see you go down the same path as Revier.
I appreciate the concern, Columbina. Although perhaps it's time you took a new name.
A new name?
Kutar, the Moon Maiden, Columbina, they're nothing more than code names. They describe who she is and the roles she's played, but they're not her real name. We often use code names in the House of the Hearth, too. But it's knowing your real name that keeps you grounded. Up till now, you've been living a wandering life, so you've probably never really cared. All I'll say is this. Once you've defeated Revier, give it some thought. All right, that's it from me. I'll get you back safely first, then go meet up with Sandrone.
You're the best!
I appreciate the gesture. It speaks to your good character. Anyway, let's get going. There are more urgent things to do right now than trade compliments.
It was a close call, but we got the iridescent moon's arrow and restored Columbina's strength. And that's all that matters. In other words, mission accomplished. Paimon wonders how everyone else is doing.